What's up? Don't pay no attention to my head. Pay attention to what's coming out my mouth. Let me turn this TV down. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all wasn't teaching today, is Dr. Martin Luther King Day. If you wasn't teaching today, shame on you. Shame on you. All right, let's start there. Let's start right there. If you wasn't teaching something today about child histories and our ancestrism, I might not have the right word, but if you wasn't teaching something today about how far we done came in America as African American people, then what was you doing today? I would like to know. I would love to know. What were you doing today? If you wasn't teaching today. If you wasn't teaching today, your kids, I even had to make myself get up and go at least put the movie on. Because we should be teaching our kids everything that we learned. Sometimes you got to give your kids the walkthrough that you had to do. The same walkthrough. I let my kids experience the same things I experienced so they can see where I be coming from when I be preaching at them, when I be talking to them. Because a lot of times they don't understand because they don't know. Because they never seen it with their own eyes. Sometimes people are visual learners. You have to show them. And since they can't go back physically in them times, sometimes you got to put a movie on to show them. Something to grasp their attention so they can say, oh, okay, dang, that's how that was back then. Dang, we couldn't go there. We couldn't drink out of a water fountain. No, we couldn't do all these things, y'all. So let's not forget our heritage and let's not forget where we come from, for real. Because a lot of us wouldn't be able to have these nice big jobs if it wasn't for Dr. King. So how this country didn't minimize Dr. King is unbelievable. TikTok got him flicking people off, throwing up the middle finger and everything else. And please blur that out if y'all show this later down the line to kids. Because I know I'm a landmark. But some just told me to get on here and let y'all know that. If you're not teaching today, what are you doing? If you ain't teaching today, what were you doing today? Because you should have been teaching. That's what you should have been doing. You should have been letting them kids know, hey, it's because of Dr. King today you could walk in that store right there. And ain't got to go and wait outside no cold. It's because of Dr. King why you got a good book, a good textbook to read out of. Because our ancestors didn't have textbooks. They had scraps and pieces of paper they had to learn from. If you ain't teaching today, what was you doing? Y'all got to tomorrow. His birthday, his real birthday, I don't know if it's on the 16th or the 19th. It's real birthday. But y'all got all week. But if you wasn't teaching today, what was you doing? This for everybody that I know. This for everybody. If you went to school with me, you better have been teaching and you got some kids. Because we learned about was being black in America. They wanted us to know that. Y'all is some niggers. So I don't know. If you got kids and you came up with me, I don't know what you was doing today, but you should have been teaching. You should have been teaching. You should have been teaching today. You got to let these kids know because of Dr. King, that's why you could walk in the store and buy a PS5. Because your mama got a decent job. We was really maids and cooks and slaves our whole life. Still slaving. No, they gave us 40 acres and a mule. They gave us 40 hours and we the mule. But we still don't have it nowhere near how our ancestors had it. Dr. Martin Luther King is just, today is really about him. Yes, it's to pay homage to him, but it's also about our ancestors too. He's just the face of our ancestors. And everything they had to go through to be who they are. So we could become who we are. Is what I'm trying to say. If you wasn't teaching today, shame on you. And I'm really telling y'all still got a little time because it's 10:53. Go put on something. Go put on a slave movie. Go put on something to let these kids know this where your butt could have been. This where I put on that movie that I put in my short, My Friend Martin, because My Friend Martin was a good movie. It showed them going back in time and seeing what time, like how things was, and then it showed if he would have not did what he did, what would have happened to the race. A lot of things wouldn't have been how it was if he didn't put his body on the line to do what he did. He did a lot, and a lot of people say Dr. Martin Luther King didn't do a lot. He did. One time I found myself saying, I said, maybe Dr. Martin Luther King shouldn't have segregated us. Maybe we should have stayed in our own. No, I had to think about that. You know how many people been lynched before us? You know how many black women have couldn't get the medical help or been raped? All type of stuff because of Dr. Martin Luther King doing what he did. A lot of stuff has changed. A lot of mindsets have changed about us as a race. A lot of mindsets have changed. And not just black people, anything, black and brown people. I had to check myself before because I was like, what would have happened if we stayed in our own community, our own thing? Now I say that because we need to become stronger again. I say that now because we need to get back stronger. So when I be saying, let's build our communities back up, black people, I'm saying let's get back stronger as a race. Because we the only weak race. You got Mexicans that come together. They stay in the house with each other till they 30, 40 years old. And they don't move out until they get their own stuff in companies and all that. The black race is the only race where when a woman becomes of age and can have sex, she has to move out with the male she's with. It didn't used to be like that back in the olden days. People used to stay with their parents until they got married, till their kids was old enough to walk and talk. The parents would stay in the home and help. Now we in a different time. Soon as LaQuisha ready to pop that thing open, she got to move out. We should change them things. We have to change the way we think. We do. I don't tell my kids they got to leave. They don't have to leave until they ready to leave. That's what's wrong with a lot of our parents. They put us out too soon. You not doing what I say, you got to go. You don't pay my bill, you got to go. My husband coming here, you got to go. That's what all our black people do. And it's the truth. And if you on this live and you saying this, say amen on her. Because it's the truth. We have to change how we think also. But I say bring us back together. This is why I say bring us back together. Because in our communities, that's why I said that. Because we can make our community strong again. If we come together and work together and not stop trying to go against each other and stop trying to kill each other. We didn't had enough ancestors die in the past. Why we still killing each other is crazy to me. We got enough people, enough targets on our back. Why we killing each other, it don't make sense to me. So that's when I say, and I'm always being funny, but today ain't the funny day. Today is the teaching day for real. This the day you really need to be. I really would hope that y'all somewhere teaching. And I'm talking about real life educating people on us, just period, as a race. And telling people that this is what we need to be doing and we need to keep going. Because we getting weak. We getting weak about an hour. We getting weak about an hour, y'all. We got to learn how to use our head. Because we the smartest race, the fastest race, the most healthiest race. So how are we getting weaker? Because we not using our brains. We ain't using the education our ancestors taught us. And how they taught us how to cook that food and grow your own stuff and drink water and do that. We not living by how our ancestors taught us how to live by. We done learned a whole new way of living. That's why we sick and all these cancers is out here. Because our ancestors didn't tell us to warm up no food in no microwave. They told us to get over there and start a campfire and learn how to cook over that campfire. And that's why we sick like we is. But that's me too. I got to change a lot of the ways I think. I'm a 90s baby. So I'm like the 9th gen, like the iPhone. I still don't know a lot of stuff, but I'm willing to learn it. I'm willing to learn that. We got a lot of stuff to go over, y'all. We got a lot of stuff to go over. We got a lot of stuff to go over for real, y'all. If you wasn't teaching today on Dr. King Day, shame on you. Shame on you. If you wasn't educating a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 19-year-old on, hey, you know what today is? Today is not. I done seen so many memes on TikTok. Jaden showed me today. I don't get on TikTok. I told y'all I'm not a TikTok fan, but Jaden showed me y'all showing Dr. Martin Luther King singing and humming, and him marching and turning around acting like he about to punch somebody and all this stuff. Y'all play too much. Y'all play too much. I don't know who that is. Y'all play too much. That's y'all problem now. This new generation, they play too much. Y'all don't take nothing serious. Figure out what y'all need to be learning and then come talk to me. Because, I don't find today funny. Today ain't funny. A man has put his life on the line. And then I'm going to touch bases on when I went to Atlanta and when I went to Memphis to see both. I took my kids to go see both of them. See, I'm not one of them people that take my kids out of town and take them to a good trap museum. No, if we going out of town, we going to do this out of town right. We going to go see our landmarks. We going to go learn things about the history of the city. See, y'all take y'all kids out of town to Atlanta, y'all go take them to the trap museum. Come on now. Some of this stuff y'all doing nowadays, we got to go over a lot of stuff. We got to go over a lot of stuff because y'all is on the wrong path. Some of y'all on the wrong path. Taking your kids to Atlanta to go see where Freaknik got started at is crazy. It's crazy. Y'all shouldn't be taking them to go see where Freaknik got started. Your kids shouldn't have been seen where Freaknik got started at before Dr. Martin Luther King Memorial site. That's just me personally. They shouldn't have met T.I. at the Trap Museum before they went to go see Dr. Martin Luther King. If you stay in Atlanta and you ain't educated your kid on Dr. Martin Luther King, I'm really concerned about you. I'm really concerned about you because it's almost about to become extinct down there. When we went to Atlanta, I seen some things that I would want to improve. You know what I'm saying? Because how they keeping up, for one, how they keeping up the street. I feel like they should block it off. First of all, a lot of millionaires and billionaires came from that street. A lot of inventors grew up on that block where Dr. Martin Luther King has grown up on. So they got every house over there as a historical house. Because if you ever been there, it'll tell you different things that these people was known for. People who invented things on that same block that he came from. So he was already destined to be great from the beginning. See, you can't, I'm here with you. I'm here with you. A lot of y'all can't even go to bed. Go to bed, for real. Because I educate you. And like I say, do your homework on me. I ain't just funny. I'm very educated. A little literate. Mike can't read a couple of words, but got all this. Got all of this. Anyway, back to what I was saying. The block he came from was so historical. They should block off that block. Block it off to where the people can't come in and out of it, drive up and down the street, so nothing can't happen to them houses over there. Let's start there, Atlanta. Let's block that off. And then you need to block the museum. No, they can't because that's a main street. We'll just block the street off where he stays at. They should put a barricade up and block it off. Whatever they got to do, build some brick monuments or something to make people know you can't come in and out of here. They're going to have to find another way to get out of there, them houses back there. I told you I've been. I think that the museum is a great museum for the family. That the family has did, but you could tell that people are getting older that is over the museum and it needs more it needs more maintenance on it. So the historical park had bought it from what I heard when I was there. And they supposed to be maintaining it, but we know how that is. If you don't got no people down there who really over it, who putting all the money into it, a lot of these chairmen of this museum is old. Y'all got to remember that this museum got built a long time ago. So you can see weeds growing and all type of stuff in the museum. I didn't like that. I didn't like at the library. When you go down the street and stuff, a lot of stuff they need to go ahead and upgrade. And I feel like the firehouse where we went to, I feel like that should be the educational center. I feel like when field trips start, they should start there. Give all the history around. Give what this is. Might bring a TV out to show you, hey, when you go here, this is that. And then take them to the main house where he was born at. Then take them to the museum where he was born at. That's how I feel like that should be done. Make that firehouse the main hub of where people get educated at first. Then take them in groups to where they need to go. Maybe take this group here and then take this group to the house. Either way it go, it should start at the firehouse because people should see how Dr. Martin Luther King he could go in there and play with the firehouse, but his daddy was a grown man. When it was time for him to come pick his son up, he had to stand outside the firehouse. Them white men wouldn't even let Dr. King daddy come inside the firehouse. He could run around there. So he was magnificent from the beginning. He was the chosen one from the beginning. He was the chosen one from the beginning. It's a lot of things I heard that I was like, dang, Dr. Martin Luther King was ordained to be who he was from the jump. From the jump. That's how I know I'm ordained. Because from the jump, a lot of things that he had went through was mind-blowing. But you got to do your homework on it. You got to go do your homework. And he wasn't perfect. I learned a lot of stuff about Dr. King. I didn't know he smoked cigarettes. I said, oh, I don't feel bad about cussing a little bit now. And I'm just playing, y'all. But I learned a lot about Dr. Martin Luther King there. And I think it's an experience that every person should experience, especially any person of race, black or white. I think y'all should go take y'all kids there. It's a very experience. I think the actual museum in Memphis, let's talk about that. I feel like it could be, I think that the museum need a little bit more help. I feel like y'all should have a little bit more hands-on projects. And I think they should get artifacts from all over the world of slavery. People like just donate stuff, cloth that maybe people could feel, or covers that people that made, and quilts. It should be just a museum for the race, period. It shouldn't just be all about pictures and reading. It really should be more hands-on, kind of like an art museum. It kind of should be an art museum or artifact museum versus just a museum talking about what happened in that day. And I like how they do to tell the story, and it's got the story, you walking through the museum and it's telling you the story. I'm trying not to give too much away, but at the same time, the only thing that I felt like was helpful to the museum was the bus. The bus part really let you be there. That's why I said they need more hands-on stuff like the bus segment. The bus segment let you get on the bus and let you see, dang, I had to sit back here in these little seats. And this big old bus, they got all the good seats, and we had to sit in the back of the bus. That, to me, made the museum be good. My kids really enjoyed that part. I feel for the younger generation, y'all gonna have to get more hands-on with the stuff. That's just me. Now, if y'all watching this Dr. King kids or whoever, I ain't got no money. I got a little money. But when I get some money, I would love to help, with the museum and all of that, because that's my passion, teaching history. That's what I love to do. I love that. But what I'm telling you, and I'm not a teacher, but I'm just telling you from what my knowledge is and what I'm teaching over here in my household, I would love for y'all to get more hands-on in the museum, and then we could talk. Then we actually be talking about something with that museum. But other than that, I feel like that in Memphis, they should have bought all of that property on back and made a restaurant, because when we left there, we was in there so long, we were hungry. So they should build a lot of restaurants over there that's got something to do with Dr. King. Maybe a Dr. King gift shop. Maybe a Dr. King hotel. Maybe y'all got to do more. More in that community could be done. I learned something, and since this Dr. King Day, that's why I'm going on and on about Dr. King. People, do y'all know this man wasn't even supposed to stay in that hotel that he stayed in the day he got killed? They told Dr. King to go stay at another hotel, which was a white hotel, and he chose to stay there because that was what you considered the black district. It wasn't, well, Beale Street always been Beale Street, but that over there in that area was where black people hung out and could walk around, be free. Because so many death threats was on this man's life, he felt more safe around his others. But that's why I always say you have to blend in sometime. They suggested that he go stay at another hotel where he would have blended, where he would have stood out, where he wouldn't have been hurt, if that makes sense. If he would have went to that hotel, he probably never would have been shot. But we can't undo history. It's done. This is what it is. But I say all that to say this man put his life on the line for us, and we not celebrating it how we should. Our teachers are not really teaching it how they should be teaching it in school, and it's kind of getting sad. It's kind of getting sad, but it's really getting sad today. The memes that I seen today, I had to get on here and speak on. It's sad. It's sad. We don't take nothing serious as a generation no more. Let's just start there. But I think that wrap up what I really wanted to say about Dr. King, y'all. Y'all gotta do better. We gotta do better as a race when we talking about us. It's because Dr. King heard why you can go move into a neighborhood. A lot of y'all wouldn't even have the education that y'all have if y'all parents couldn't move into some of these neighborhoods. Your kid wouldn't have a lot of this education. Your kid wouldn't know how to talk proper. So let's start there. If it wasn't for Dr. King, a lot of y'all kids would be bums. A lot of us haven't been fortunate enough. I can go all the way back to when I was a little kid going with my grandparents over in St. Anne. And St. Anne, back in 1998, I just remember the when we would go over there, my grandparents, for one, they always look nice as black people. I told you these are upstanding citizens. Let's start there. And the white people loved them, you know. So when we would go over there, it wasn't as segregated. First of all, I'm from Missouri. Missouri is the most segregated city of all times. And if you don't believe me, go ask your a person at work who is not your race, do they go to some of the same places you go to? If they say, I ain't never heard of that, that should let you know that how segregated the city is. The city is so segregated, y'all. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that after 7 o'clock, you couldn't even go to Ferguson. Ferguson was called nigger down after 7 o'clock. You go step in Ferguson, just imagine, you stay in Normandy and you walk to Ferguson, you would get hanged from a tree, you'd be dead. It's a lot of stories here that people ain't even told here in St. Louis. So let's start there. Know your history before you come at me and talk to me. For real, because I done heard and I done read on a lot of these stuff. So it's a lot of stuff that done happened that done went under the radar and don't even make the news, y'all. So please know y'all history. A lot of these cities we moving in now, such as Fort Florissant, Ferguson, all of these cities, black people wasn't even allowed to come in after a certain hour. And I know this to be true because once again, I told you, I could tell that my grandparents still was iffy on traveling certain places after a certain time. They would go early in the day. When we would go grocery shopping and stuff, it would be early in the day to St. Anne and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it still was like, you know, that feeling of like, you not wanted here. And I remember being a little girl going to Aldi's and them little places up there and people watching you and looking over your shoulder and all of that. I remember them things. I remember them feelings. So I do realize that how segregated St. Louis has been. It just got unsegregated a little bit from the city to a little bit expansion because of the Mike Brown. A lot of people moved and scattered out after the Mike Brown thing, but for a long time, a lot of black folks probably didn't even know a lot of these parts of the community even existed because you couldn't get in a lot of these places, such as where I stayed. You couldn't get into this community. A lot of these claws, a lot of these people got houses to where you can't even, they got it in a contract to where you can't even sell to a Negro. For real. Y'all need to go do y'all homework for real. A lot of these blocks got where you can't even, in contracts that say you cannot sell to a Negro on this block. This is my grandfather's house. He built this and such and such. This block belongs to our community. You don't know this. A lot of y'all don't know these things, but St. Louis is very segregated. And we working on it now, but we was the last state to get emancipated. So let that say, that should really resonate in y'all blood. It really should. And I also want to say something too. Racism is out here so hard still. Please don't think racism is dead. People always saying it's 2023, racism still exists, y'all. And I'm gonna go into that later down the line, but of the experiences that me and my children have faced with racism. But what I will say is I've met some good people and I met some bad people. Let's start there. But racism does still exist, and I want y'all to know that. And we really need to work on making sure our kids never forget where we come from, making sure our kids never forget where our ancestors have come from. Some of us, not all of us, are African American. Some of us are Native American people. Now, I'm nigga. Now, I got some African American in me, but I got some Indian in me, but This Puerto Rican, but you know what I'm trying to say. What I'm telling you is a lot of our land have been stripped from us already from ancient time. You get what I'm saying? My generation come from an ex slave and an Indian family. My grandmother's family is Indian from over in Illinois, and here St. Louis. They originated here, and then my grandfather's side was from, I believe, Virginia, and slave and farmers. Like got freed, and then they became farmers over there. So they came together in St. Louis. I know my history. Do y'all know y'all's? A lot of y'all don't know where y'all come from. And that's where we be going wrong as people. We don't know. Y'all don't be knowing what y'all know. What y'all should be knowing. You should be knowing a lot about where you come from. What is your great grandfather? Was he a slave or was he an Indian? Some of y'all don't even know. A lot of y'all are indigenous people. I'm not fully indigenous, but like I said, I come from an ex-slave and an Indian. I know this. This is facts. I know. Okay? But let's get back on top. Shoot. Just get it together, y'all. Let's just get it together. Let's just start there. We just gonna start doing better for our kids. We gonna just start educating a little bit more. We need to get our kids equipped. We do. Our kids need to know about guns, all of that. They should know about that. That is. I don't think that's a bad thing. They should. But you need to be teaching your kids that guns is for protection and not to hurt somebody and take somebody's life. It ain't for you to walk around with a Pooh Shiesty mask and clutching on your gun every time somebody lean up in their car. It ain't for that. We should be educating them on what a gun is for. This gun is to protect our house. That's what you got to start out by teaching your kids out the gate. This gun is for protection. This gun, I thought I seen somebody walk across. This a ghost, baby. These ghosts be messing with me in here. These guns are for protection. That's what y'all got to tell y'all kids. And that's it. That's the only thing y'all should be letting them know. Guns are for protection. They not to hurt other people. Start there. If y'all just start there in St. Louis, we'd be okay. The crime rate is on Real STL News. I'm starting to see it go down. But then I see it spike back up because y'all shooting each other over stupid stuff. I don't know what happened or what occurred. I feel like some things could be solved, like, through other situations, but, by different forces. But y'all just, sometimes y'all make me happy and sometimes y'all make me sad. I look at and I stop watching the news because I see so much killing going on there. I seen just the other week, the girl, baby daddy killed her and left her in the field in Chicago or somewhere. I don't want to hear this stuff, so I stop watching the news. And I educate myself on what come down my timeline or what the world talking about in general. That's how I educate myself now, and then I go do my homework on, other things. But back to what I'm saying, y'all. We got to do better as a race. We got to do better at educating our kids. We just got to do better teaching them about planting, teaching them about how to stay healthy for the next 50, 60 years. Y'all don't know that an average black man not supposed to live past 50 years old. You know why? Because he's going to get sick. He worked too hard. A woman not supposed to live past 50-some years old. Black women not supposed to live that because we work twice as hard as everybody, y'all. The minority is not supposed to live long. Slaves didn't live past 4 to 6 years. Y'all gonna do your homework on this stuff. A slave didn't live past 4 to 6 years because their back would go out or they'll catch pneumonia. Or the lady might have had a baby, might have had a setback. They didn't expect slaves to live past 4 to 6 years. That's why we had to keep reproducing. That's why they had to make the slaves. Just think about that. We come from 2 horny ass slaves. Okay, don't think about that. I don't even want to think about that because if I'm tired, I don't even want to hump. Y'all hunching and y'all already tired, that's crazy. And probably was thinking too. But we come from 2 horny ass slaves, y'all. Y'all got to remember that. All of us, you, come from 2 horny ass slaves that got together and was hunching. So, we here now. We got to deal with this thing. We got to tackle this thing, like that man said. And y'all need to focus. All y'all need to be focusing. Because our ancestors have died for this. We got our grandparents that died in slave fields for this. So y'all need to be on y'all grind every day. We should be motivating each other to get more and more and more every single day. Because our ancestors, them two horny ass slaves, then died somewhere in the field somewhere. Trying to make sure us, LaQuisha and LaJohn, get where we need to get in life. Okay, I said I wasn't gonna cuss. I'm gone, y'all. I love y'all. Peace out.